Fox News reported on the World Health Organization's report that meat causes cancer, and you can probably already guess what their predictable responses are.
Welcome back to The Real Story. The World Health Organization now issuing a big fat warning about some popular meats found at the supermarket and probably in your refrigerator. Trace Gallagher live with more on what it is. Hi, Trace.
Hi, Gretchen. The study was done by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is an arm of the World Health Organization. What they found is that if you eat 1.5 ounces of processed meats per day, like bacon, ham, sausage, and hot dogs, your risk of getting colorectal cancer goes up by 18%. Even more alarming is the group is now listing processed meats right alongside arsenic, asbestos, and cigarettes as major causes of cancer. But before you toss out the bacon, you need a little context and perspective. For example, even though processed meats are now listed as a Group 1 carcinogen, along with tobacco, being a heavy meat eater would raise your cancer risk 18%. Being a heavy smoker increases your cancer risk by 1,000%.
This is a classic example of Fox News purposely misrepresenting data because they know that the vast majority of their audience won't look into anything deeper. They're just going to take everything that Fox says, listen to it blindly, without really applying any sort of critical thinking skills, so Fox News can say whatever they want people to believe. The World Health Organization said that at only 1.5 ounces of processed meat per day, your risk of cancer goes up by 18%. 1.5 ounces is not exactly heavy meat eating. That's like saying 3 cigarettes a day is heavy smoking. But in reality, the World Health Organization also said that every 1.5 ounces of meat on top of that initial 1.5 ounces of meat is compounded an additional 18%. So if you have bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then you have a Subway sandwich for lunch, and then maybe a couple slices of Meat Lover's Pizza for dinner, you could be increasing your cancer risk not by 18%, but by over 90% every single day.
And here's a bit more to chew on. The study says processed meats do cause cancer in humans and that red meat probably causes cancer in humans. But the same arm of the World Health Organization also says, and here's the list, sunlight, outdoor air pollution, and wood dust definitely cause cancer, and that working as a barber or a hairdresser probably causes cancer. And in case you didn't know, coffee and aloe vera possibly cause cancer.
And here they just try to make you throw up your arms and go, oh, everything causes cancer. Forget about it. I'm not going to change my ways. But everybody knows that if you spend too much time in the sun without sunscreen, it can lead to skin cancer. But if you just write sunlight on there and just say, oh, sunlight also causes cancer, oh, can't go out in the sun, then you're clearly just trying to trivialize the data and confuse people.
The bottom line here, Gretchen, is there is evidence a bunch of bacon is really not good for you. But experts say this study really could have used a grain of salt as well.
Okay.
This study that could use a grain of salt was not just a peer-reviewed article. It was a meta-analysis of over 800 different peer-reviewed articles done by 22 different doctors from 10 different countries. This is literally as unbiased as you could possibly ever hope to imagine, versus the meat industry, which has like $95 billion to lose if people wake up. And not to mention the pharmaceutical companies, which also have billions of dollars to lose if people wake up. And the only reason that the increased cancer risk for every 1.5 ounces of processed meat was as low as 18% was because they were comparing people in these studies who eat processed meat to people who don't eat processed meat. That was it. They weren't comparing people who eat processed meat to vegans or vegetarians. They were comparing them to people who don't eat processed meat but still eat things like chicken and fish and turkey and eggs and dairy. So that's kind of like comparing someone who smokes a pack a day to someone who only smokes half a pack a day and saying, oh, well, you know, the people who smoke a pack a day, it's only increasing their cancer risk by 18%. Therefore, you know, being a heavy smoker means you only increase your cancer risk by 18%. So in reality, every 1.5 ounces of processed meat you eat probably increases your cancer by much more than 18%.